video is brought to you by CyberGameway. With an emphasis on exposing streamers of all types, as well as exploring business relationships with partnered websites and service providers, CyberGameway is the place you want to be for streaming gamers who want that sub bump. To apply for membership or sponsorship, head over to cybergameway.com. And we're back. Where whence we left off, I love the way I say that. Where whence we left off, we had just gotten everything apart, and it's so good. I do, however, wish, and this is what I was doing last night. I kind of wish that I had left it together before we went to the hardware store. We went to the hardware store and got stuff, lots of stuff. We got these giant frickin' bolts that we're pretty much not gonna use most of. We're gonna just use the heads of these. We got hinges because we're gonna cut these off. And this part here, we're gonna cut all that. And then the bolts are gonna be interesting because we also got tons and tons of bar stock, which this combined with this is 1 inch, this is 1 3/4, and then this is tube stock. Giggity. So what this is going to do, I love the rust. The rust is going to be integral to this build. So what I've done is I've already measured out these pieces here. See, these are going to be the feet. So it's just gonna look so cool. I'm gonna use what's called J&B weld to stick it right here on the inside of where the other feet were. These little circles. I'm gonna stick it on the inside because this is where it gets really, really cool. All this bar stock that I got, this 1 inch stuff is gonna go right here. And it's gonna look super cool. I have to give it just a tad bit of space because this is going to be like armor. And so this is gonna go on the bottom, and then this is gonna go on the top. And this has got to weigh probably 10 pounds easily. So this is gonna, basically all the metal that we bought at the hardware store is gonna add about 16 or 17 pounds easily, because this is probably close to 7 or 8 pounds. That's at least 10, probably like 12. This is another 1 or 2, and plus the bolts, which we're not gonna use a lot of. We're just gonna use the heads. But, I mean, it's still steel. So all this stuff is going to be, it's going to go on there, and it's already like got this really, really nice patina on it. What I think I'm going to do, though, is, see, I had this idea of, like, putting it on after we get all the paint. We're going to mount it on with J&B weld. And then, here. I got a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, I've got distilled vinegar, and then we have to get some salt. This is going to rust the metal inside of a few minutes. So first first thing we have to do is get all the paint off. And I got my angle grinder out for that. Then we're going to cut this and that. We're going to cut all these into pieces and mount them. We're gonna use the J&B weld to glue them to each piece. Then we're going to cut the heads off this and put them in all these different places. If you want to get in here again. Okay. In all these places, we're going to cut the heads off and then mount them to each little thing. I've got 28 of them, so we're going to put 7 on. We're going to put 7 on each, so it's gonna look really, really cool. And so I'm going to put 7 on this side, and then 7 on this side, because the bottoms are going to, the bottom and the top are going to be just about that close to the case. And then it's going to open up and it's going to look super cool. What this also does too is it'll act as sort of a handle, because since it's off the case, you can just open it up like that. And with that in mind, we're going to use these rare earth magnets, which are super strong. We're going to use the J&B to stick it to that. This thing's going to look amazing because everything is going to be rust. And then we're going to use 3 coats of shiny clear coat to lock it in and make sure it doesn't rust anymore. This is going to be the best thing we've ever built. I'm not going to be able to get all the paint off, and that's also fine too, because it'll add definition and it'll add a little bit of depth, because as we know, nothing rusts entirely at the same time. So having a little bit of paint left over will really make it look good. Now also, I've marked off these things, which at this point is completely irrelevant now because I'm going to have to get all the paint off. But this is where the hinges are going to go. And I got lucked out because there's a fan screw right here. And since we're not going to be using a fan on the back, it works. So we're going to get the paint off. Then we're going to cut. Lots of cutting. Cutting. I wanted to be a lumberjack, swinging from tree to tree. Hashtag Monty Python. So let's get the angle grinder, get our earplugs on, and let's get cutting. You can see up my nose. I probably got Granddad here. Hi. Here we go. And instead of the death metal music, I think we'll have some nice lounge music for this part. Death metal is for cutting. Here we go. Something really cool happened with this door panel. I was grinding away and then I hit the corner and it bent it way the hell up. So I used my hammer and hammered it back into place. And it's kind of a happy accident because that's never going to go back to the original shape, but I think it really adds to I think it really adds to the look of it. It's just it's just, I'm so happy. Once everything is cut off, and I'm kind of thinking at this point, maybe what I should do is cut these off right away. Because I'm gonna do that right now. Let's switch out the wheels. Ready? Cue the death metal!
Ring, 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 banana.
So, okay, it's been about 2.5 hours. It's been about 2 hours. We got 2.5 panels done. And my wheel is gone. So we're gonna have to go back to the hardware store, pick up probably about 2 more of these. Because while those are the biggest panels and those were the ones that are going to be seen the most, I am about consistency, so I want to get I really want to do these right. Which means we're going back to the hardware store, getting 2 more of these. These are $10 a piece, so it's not that big a deal. And then we'll come back and finish this up. So by the time we come back next week, you will see all of this done, and then we're going to get ready to do what we do with the solution. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!